The Empire may have fallen, but my ambitions never wavered. I am Grand Admiral Thrawn, and my return is inevitable.
I could use the help.
In this war, you will face more than just droids. As your master, it's my responsibility to prepare you. I won't always be there to look out for you.
Welcome back, everyone. This is The Way. We've got a little Ahsoka Episode 8 finale footage to break down. I know there's a bunch of theories and hanging plot threads that they have to pay off, a lot of questions about that. We know that Thrawn is supposed to catch the New Republic with their pants around their ankles, so we'll break it all down. For better or for worse, a lot of this is all meant to set up the Thrawn movie, so do expect a lot of hanging plot threads and cliffhangers in the finale.
This is where the fun begins.
If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the episodes. There's going to be a bunch of crossovers with the upcoming series. We're also doing a giveaway for the Mandalorian Blu-ray. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and just post all your finale theories in the comments. I'll name a winner in this video, but careful for spoilers for everything that's happened so far on the show. Just starting with the elephant in the room, the Thrawn in the room, the footage we can now say from the trailer, this has all been in the previous trailers, is Thrawn on board the hyperspace ring, and it seems like what they've done with the Ahsoka trailers is they did a House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones kind of thing, where in all the House of the Dragon trailers, they put footage from like the very last shot of the series in the early trailers. So this scene of Thrawn in the hyperspace ring might not be the exact final shot of the finale, but they'll probably end the finale on a cliffhanger similar to a moment like this, where the hyperspace ring enters the main galaxy with his Chimera Star Destroyer. He looks out over the planet like a boss, and to make another Lord of the Rings joke, it's the return of the king. Then they slam to the credits and just pick up the next part of the story during the Mandalorian Season 4 or the Skeleton Crew series, or even saving a lot of it for the Thrawn movie. The next actual Star Wars show is Skeleton Crew with Jude Law and those kids. We got a little trailer footage for that back at Star Wars Celebration. I did a video for it, so I'll link it down in the description below. Supposedly he's meant to be a former Jedi, and for some reason they get stranded on their ship in what might be this other Purrgils galaxy. We know that it's meant to cross over with Ahsoka, the Mandalorian Season 4, everything that's happening in this part of the timeline, and those characters will appear in the Thrawn movie in some way. So tying this all together, a lot of you have been theorizing that they'll end the Ahsoka finale with Thrawn returning to the main galaxy, and Ahsoka, Sabine, everyone else getting stranded in the other galaxy on the Purrgils planet. Just so that it seems like they take a huge L, the New Republic in general taking a lot of L's right now, acting so stupid, they kind of deserve what they're getting, it seems like. I think they really want you to hate the New Republic. There are only a couple ways for Ahsoka and the others to make it back to the main galaxy now that the Purrgils are gone, and most of Thrawn's minefield is still active around the planet, so even if they were able to have a way to call the Purrgils back, they probably wouldn't come close to the planet. So early theories right now were that either Ahsoka finds a way to attach her ship to the hull of the hyperspace ring without Thrawn's sensors detecting it and just hitching a ride back to the main galaxy, or, much simpler, they just get stranded in the other galaxy and have to find another way home. Now, if Jude Law and the people from Skeleton Crew are going to that other galaxy, they might be their ticket home before the Thrawn movie starts. A lot of people also want to see Grogu and the Mandalorians also help Ahsoka get back. But Ahsoka getting stranded in the other galaxy would be a way to explain why she isn't around during the events of the Mandalorian Season 4 to show everyone the evidence of Thrawn's plans so that the New Republic can prepare. Like, that's the whole idea, is that Dave Filoni really wants Thrawn to catch the New Republic with their pants around their ankles so they get their asses handed to them, at least at first.
What was first just a dream has become a frightening reality for those who may oppose us.
Part of the problem, though, with this whole Thrawn storyline is that we kind of know what happens later in the timeline, and like the New Republic still exists later in the timeline, so we know that ultimately he doesn't succeed. That's one of the only weaknesses of doing stuff earlier in the timeline, is that like you know some of the bigger plot points, but there's still like a lot of big questions about how that all plays out. Like, we don't really know what happens with Ahsoka later in the timeline. We don't know what really happens with Grogu when he gets a little bit older. But think about the timeline this way. Thrawn would need a little time after he makes it back to the main galaxy to marshal the forces of the Shadow Council, because you have all these different factions of Imperials all over the galaxy, and it's going to take him a while to bring their giant fleet together.
Our one hope for success relies upon the secrecy of his return.
And if a giant Imperial fleet just posted up somewhere near the Outer Rim, the New Republic would know about it, as dumb as they seem right now, so they just have to have a way to explain why they don't learn about Thrawn returning for a little while longer. Just be way easier for that to happen if Ahsoka gets stuck in the other galaxy, and it's like the Mandalorians that learn about Thrawn first before the New Republic sees the evidence. They can just make the Mandalorian sort of like the first line of defense, because the whole thing at the end of Season 3 was showing that they were reactivating the Great Forge, retaking the Mandalore planet, making preparations for the larger Star Wars to come. So if anybody learns about Thrawn first, it should be the Mandalorians, Grogu, Mando, all those characters. They can just have Mando and Grogu learn about them on one of their random bounty missions early in the season. Like, wait a minute, there's a giant fleet out here. This Chimera Star Destroyer looks a little bit different from the other Star Destroyers. Why is there a Star Destroyer to begin with? Grogu can also start sussing out what's going on with the Nightsisters too in the Force. Like, wait a minute, I'm getting some weird vibes from these Nightsisters. The other thing about the Nightsisters too is their whole Nightsister zombie army that they plan to resurrect. That's the special cargo that Thrawn has been loading. It's going to take them some time to all raise those from the dead. They can't just do it on the drop of a hat. Normally, in order to raise them from the dead, they need that special green magic energy, which can only be found on Dathmiri in the main galaxy. There might be a couple retcons with that, but I think that's why the Dathmiri planet is meant to be so important in the main galaxy, why the Nightsisters originally settled there when they got stuck in the main galaxy. The other really big question is what's going on with Baylan's Skoll in this mystery power that he feels calling to him on Purrgils. Because Ray Stevenson died in real life before the season came out, may he rest in peace, really sucks because he's amazing during this season, is that Dave Filoni probably intended on having a cliffhanger with him where he finds out what he's looking for, but they don't really explain it until Ahsoka Season 2 or like the Thrawn movie. Now, I don't know if they plan to recast his character before that Thrawn movie or Mando Season 4, wherever the character would have originally appeared next, or they just write him out of Season 2 in the Thrawn movie. But right now, it seems like they'll be forced to have some kind of cliffhanger for his storyline. Then they use the next couple of years before the Thrawn movie comes out to just figure out what happens with his character. Like in the finale, he'll find what he's looking for, then just seemingly disappear, and they don't fully explain what happens till way, way later. It's kind of like what happened to the Cara Dune character. They just kind of had to explain what happened to her off-screen. They made it seem like she died off-screen. I know there have been a lot of Abeloth theories about this power that he's seeking, but I don't think they're doing Abeloth from Legends. She was a Legends version of the mother in the Mortis gods family, like the father, the son, the daughter. The mother was a character they introduced in the Legends books after the Clone Wars Mortis episodes, so she's not meant to be canon. The book that introduced the character came out right before Disney bought Star Wars. That's why she's a Legends character. The whole idea is that she was meant to be a human woman that served the Mortis gods, and they just came to think of her as the mother, till one day she sought to gain immortality like the Mortis gods had so she could live with them forever. She drank from this wellspring of the Force on Mortis, and it turned her into this giant cosmic entity. Right now, it just seems it's more likely that Baylan's power he's seeking is something totally different, like that might have something to do with the Zepho mentioned on the Nightsisters Temple Wall. I've done a couple videos about him. His name was Kujet. He was a big part of the Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor game.
There is power there, beyond Jedi understanding. Power I control. I would offer you the same thing.
Because they included that Easter egg, it means that the events of those games are canon to the main Star Wars story, so it's more likely that Dave Filoni is pulling in like some classic canon stuff. But it could also be something totally different. Like I said, I think they're going to spend the next couple of years figuring out exactly what that is. There'll be just some giant cliffhanger with this storyline. Shin Hati seems like she's going to return to the main galaxy with Thrawn, which Baylan told her to do. There's supposed to be at least one more Anakin Skywalker cameo scene. I think it'll be Force Ghost Anakin giving Ahsoka a pep talk, but they might use his cameo to set up the Thrawn movie a little bit, where he explains to her that even though they take a huge L, all hope is not lost. I could just see Ahsoka now like, okay, there's this little creature called Grogu. Could you please take your Force Ghost back to the main galaxy and just warn him what happened and tell him to find a way to bring us back? The other thing, too, is the world between worlds. They featured it so prominently midway through the season, they could also use that as one of the keys to the way they resolve some of this storyline. But post all your predictions for the finale in the comments in Ahsoka Season 2, because they did start working on Season 2 before the strike started, so it seems pretty likely that they will continue doing that now that they've resolved that. The other big thing is, how do you think the Skeleton Crew series is going to cross over with what's happening right now, because we know that it's going to cross over in some way. Just be way easier if they come to the other galaxy in Ahsoka, the other characters are still there. I believe that show was supposed to premiere early 2024. Originally, it was going to be in December, but then they delayed everything this year by a few months, so we'll probably get the trailer for that after the Loki series comes out. Big reminder too, Loki Season 2 Episode 1 starts next week. My episode videos for that will post every Friday just like normal. The Mandalorian Season 4 might not make it out by the end of 2024. They haven't started shooting that yet, but they did finish writing it before the strike started, so they can start shooting that as soon as the actors' part of the strike gets resolved, which might be the next couple of weeks. When we start learning more about what's going on during Mando Season 4, I'll start doing some more bonus videos for that. Congratulations, Rossi Zervos, you're the giveaway winner for my last big Ahsoka video. Please email me on the About page of my channel so I can get your contact details. And that would be cool if Grogu helps Ahsoka and the others get back to the main galaxy. My full episode 8 finale video will post next week after they release it. Click here for my Ahsoka episode 7 video, and click here for all my other Ahsoka episodes. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and this is the way.